South Soccer with another little tactics preview for you guys for the Eastern Conference Final on Wednesday with Atlanta United FC against Toronto FC at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So as you can see here, I've got Atlanta United lined up in the same formation, the same personnel they used in the last game against the Philadelphia Union. I don't know if this is exactly what we're going to see. It's not my official prediction or anything, but just for the sake of this video, that's what I'm putting the team out in because it's probably the best data point that we have. You know, it was the last game. It was the last thing that they played in. So it's a good enough guess for this video. And something I'm going to focus on Atlanta United with the ball and kind of how they may exploit. You can see I've listed Alejandro Pozuelo and Michael Bradley for Toronto FC because those are going to be the two influential players. And we're going to kind of talk about them both. So let's talk about how Atlanta United can possibly exploit a guy like Michael Bradley. Of course, he's an older player, not as old as you would think. I was talking about his age the other day with somebody, but he's actually not as old as a guy like he's younger than Jeff Larentowicz. But anyway, he is pretty immobile though. At this point, he has a lot of legs, miles on his legs. He started he was playing full time at 18 years old. So, yeah, he's a guy I think that Atlanta United feels like they can exploit. And I think for that reason, because he's such an influential player for Toronto FC, I think that is, again, why you're likely to see Pity Martinez and Ezequiel Barco in the game together for Atlanta United, because I think what Frank de Boer will want to do is flank Michael Bradley with these players. What this does is if Michael Bradley is forced to come out and mark a guy like Pitti, or if it's Barco on the other side, it just distances him from another real creative player you have on the field. And the more you can put yourself in those situations, I think you're going to have success if you're Atlanta United. That's exactly what you want to do. So I think that by putting both of them out there, they'll combine at times, Barco and Pitti, throughout the game, but I would expect them to kind of, have their own little zones to play in and really force Bradley to make decisions, stretch him horizontally. That's the way you want to move him around the pitch, because we know he's not going to move up. He's going to really sit and stay in front of those center backs. So you need to try to move him somehow. Another aspect that we're going to see, I think, in this game is Julian Gressel and Franco Escobar just really be completely fluid during this game. I think you're likely to see both of them stationed pretty close to each other, and you might see Franco make inside runs. Of course, this is with Atlanta United with the ball, so he might come inside to help centrally or just make a disruptive run. Julian Gressel could do the same thing, or he could float outside. I think when Franco Escobar makes those interior runs, it really kind of sucks the defense in towards him. It brings a lot of attention to him, and it actually frees up Gressel on the outside so he can put in that delivery to Joseph. So I think that's what we're going to likely see from Atlanta United with the ball, and something to watch out for in the game. And I think on the other side of the ball, obviously comes down to Alejandro Pozuelo. He's going to be such a key player for Toronto FC, who normally play in like a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 type of thing. I think we're more likely to see them in what looks like a 4-3-3 because of what we just talked about, and they'll want to protect Michael Bradley. But if you've heard anything about this game, if you've been paying attention to the lead-up, you'll have heard Alejandro Pozuelo is going to play as a false nine. Now, a lot of you guys, because we have a very, intelligent soccer community following us on Dirty South Soccer, you probably know what a false nine is. But if you've heard it and you don't kind of know what that means, you probably heard people describe it as like moving around a lot or whatever. Specifically what a false nine does, a regular number 9 would want to be making darting runs into the box, playing, on the edge of the shoulders of the center backs. A false 9 will want to do the opposite and kind of drift back into midfield. And the reason why this is effective is because what it does is it confuses the defense. One option that can happen is you have a center back that just tracks him into that zone, and what that does is it opens up a huge gap for the wingers to run into, or just holes in your back line. You could additionally, and I think what you're likely to see Atlanta United do if they're in a back four, and considering they're so accustomed to playing with a back three, is almost playing with Jeff Larentowicz like a third center back, and use him specifically for those instances when Pozuelo drops deep, so that he can just pick him up in that defensive midfield area that Jeff Larentowicz is so comfortable playing in. But that's why communication is going to be so key between LGP and whoever's playing next to LGP. I don't know if it's going to be Florentine Pogba. I don't know if it's going to be Michael Parker, or maybe it's both of them. But it's going to be so key for them to all have communication to make sure they're constantly know where Alejandro Pozuelo is, because as we saw against NYCFC, he's a guy who can win a match for you. So that's some things to watch out for in this game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen in this game, anything I need to be watching out for. as well, and we can get a conversation going. So thank you guys. Follow Dirty South Soccer on YouTube, and keep clicking onto our site, and we'll provide you more Atlanta United content. So we'll talk to you guys later.